Let me start by saying welcome to the Great Lakes Center for Autism Treatment and Research. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy lives to be here today and help us celebrate the opening of a state-of-the-art facility as well as state-of-the-art treatment options for children with autism. Thanks to the effort of many of you, we are very proud to have developed a building and programs that will help the children throughout this community as well as the state of Michigan. We're also proud of the fact that the community has the confidence in ROI to have the opportunity to create the Great Lakes Center for Autism Treatment and Research. Today we have a number of guests who will have an opportunity to speak, and we'll follow that with a brief ribbon cutting ceremony, and then we'll offer all of you an opportunity to walk through Great Lakes and see what this beautiful building looks like. We've got a number of dignitaries here today who I would like to introduce before we get rolling, and these are people who are not speaking. One of our oldest friends, Don Gilmer, is here, and I'd like to say thank you to Don for showing up. Sitting next to Don is Representative Sean McCann. Representative Margaret O'Brien is over here. As is Senator Tanya Shoemaker. And the host of the Great Lakes Center for Autism Treatment and Research is the City of Portage, and Mayor Strasdis is here to join us. There are three programs that will exist under the umbrella of Great Lakes Center for Autism Treatment and Research. Two of them will be in this building. The first one is the residential program. We have the capacity to serve 12 children at a time, and our mission is to serve them on a temporary basis. We expect temporary to mean 6 months to 18 months. These are children that are very complicated and have lots of challenges, and there is no magic wand to help them get better. So this is going to be long-term hard work, but we expect to have great success for the children, and we are confident that when they have new skills and a home environment that is better prepared for them to come to transition back home, that they'll be very successful in doing so. The children are likely to have a diagnosis of autism or a similar disability, and many of them will have multiple diagnoses. All of them will be people who engage in highly dangerous behaviors. Examples being self-injurious behaviors and aggression to others. These are behaviors that can cause significant tissue damage and can even be life-threatening. Here's a brief description of a child who is likely to be referred to us. He's 10 years old with a diagnosis of autism and mild mental retardation. He weighs 140 pounds. His primary behaviors of concern are property destruction, which involves kicking walls and kicking windows, as well as physical aggression to others. He hits, he pinches, and he bites. He's been hospitalized in a psychiatric unit 3 times for these behaviors, most recently for 3.5 weeks just this past month. Prior to the hospitalization, he eloped from his family home and entered 2 neighbors' homes. In the first home, he physically aggressed towards a small child, and in the second, he was found emptying the contents of the refrigerator. After he aggressed toward a 6-month-old medically fragile infant and an elderly gentleman, the family made the decision to take him to the ER, and he was subsequently hospitalized in a psychiatric unit 2 hours from his home. In preparation for discharge, his family decided they were not prepared to reintegrate him into the family home, and instead they're awaiting for a placement here. This young man happens to have 2 siblings. He has a younger daughter and he has a younger brother, and his brother also has autism. The second program that's housed in this building is our outpatient clinic. It's named in honor of Dr. Sidney Heersma, who was the first pediatrician in Kalamazoo. You will see a picture of Dr. Heersma hanging in the lobby inside when you come in. The outpatient clinic is going to serve children with not only autism but other diagnoses, and we're going to provide applied behavior analysis therapies, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy. We expect to work very closely with these children's pediatricians. We hope that the services are well received, and we are thrilled, as I mentioned earlier, to have Dr. Heersman's name associated with it, and we hope that his family is proud of the services that will be offered here. Our third program will be provided in a different location and will be described as what I would call an intensive day program. We know from others' research that 50% of the children diagnosed with autism have the chance to live a life with no disability if they receive 3 years of early intensive behavioral intervention after their diagnosis. This is what we intend to offer at our outpatient program, which will be at a different location off of Cork Street. And we also know that these early years of intervention are when we can have the biggest impact. And if we can help children to have a good, solid, wonderful, and happy life, that's what we're all here for. Let me move on to the thank yous that we have. We have a lot of thank yous to offer as a result of this program being available. First, I want to thank the ROI Board of Directors. It is their leap of faith that resulted in all of us being here today. Secondly, I want to thank members of ROI Capital Campaign. To date, they have raised $1.1 million. Notice that I said to date. We have a ways to go. I want to thank Dr. John Dunn, President of Western Michigan University, as the honorary chair of the Capital Campaign. And then the chairs who did all the hard lifting started with Steve East, and then Kip Miller and Greg St. Arnold took over as chairs. And I also want to thank all of ROI. Collectively, and with this great community, we have built an organization with a track record that created the confidence of the community to allow for the development of Great Lakes. The support of the employees was critical to us moving forward. I cannot thank all of the employees of ROI who helped create this program, but I do want to single out Tom Elam. Tom managed the development of this project on behalf of ROI, and it hits home for Tom in a way that is different from many of us, because he has a son with autism who didn't have access to these services when he was young. So Tom has put his heart and soul into this project, and we thank him for that. We also want to give special thanks to Biggs Gilmore Communications for the development of our fundraising video, our logos, our websites, and the published materials for the Capital Campaign. They were led by Mike Gerfen and Julie Wheat, and they